Well, it's nice to finally meet you, kind of. We're
Likewise.
virtual, but so your name Steve, right?
Yes.
Cool. Well,
And
I'm
you are?
Joe. I'm Joe,
Oh,
one of the
okay,
Joes
Joe.
on set.
Okay.
Yeah, they're Joe. But I love your is that DVDs behind you?
DVDs, Blu-rays, all sorts of fun stuff.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, I was having a issue with trying to get everything set up. Because without the light on, I got my wife's ring light. I have a very dark movie room. So
Gotcha.
um I tried without that and it's just like shadows everywhere. So hopefully this works and hopefully I'm not too reflective off the
Oh, you're
dome.
good. It looks good. It
But
looks good to me. I
yeah,
love that you have a movie room though. That's pretty awesome.
yes, nice movie room. I got my TV over there.
Nice.
Got my Marvel shrine over there. You
Oh,
can't
this
really
is
see too well,
amazing.
but yeah, I have a whole movie room dedication here. So
That's cool. That's great. Well, thanks for hopping on real quick. I mean,
yeah,
trying to
no problem.
trying to chat and talk about locations and what you're into and movies and all that. So locations, kind of where did it all start for you? Like,
Uh, the first one I ever did was way back in 2001. Um, my sister was supposed to go up to New York for my cousin's birthday, and this was 2 days after September 11th. So obviously we weren't flying up there. So my dad's like, "I'll drive you up there. Do you want to go?" We used to live up there, so it was kind of like revisiting, the old house and everything. And I said, "Sure, we can go, but on the way, can we stop by the Quick Stop in New Jersey, where Clerks and all that stuff was filmed?" And he's like, "Sure, let's go see that." Um, so we went and saw that, and it was just a completely unplanned trip. Like now, I do super planning now, but then it was just I went up there with a disposable Kodak back then, and just went to spots and clicked what I could, and that was about it for a good 13 years. But then after that, we went to Hawaii for a Lost event, and that's my favorite thing in the world, a favorite show, favorite fandom, whatever you want to do.
love
I
it.
love Lost. And I said, we're there. It's going to be a once in a lifetime trip. Let me see every possible filming location we can and just take whatever pictures I can.
Cool.
And so I did that. And I got back home and I said, it'd be cool to put these next to the pictures from the show. And I started doing that, which was a pain because I just kind of went from memory and I don't have anything to compare to. So I was searching through 6 seasons of TV to find the closest shot I can get to whatever. But then after that, I posted those on Facebook, and all my friends were like, "That's so cool. I want to see more of that." So that's when I kind of started doing. Every trip we go on now, I just kind of see what's filmed in the area and go from that.
Amazing. That's great. I feel like that was early on too. I mean, Lost was what, 20 or 2000? When did that
2000,
end?
2004 to 2010.
Whoa.
It's an
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, it's an old show now.
Wow. Is it
It's
that far? Oh, man, geez.
Yeah,
I remember when that was
I
on TV.
was yeah, I was supposed to go last year for the 10th anniversary of the finale, but that got canceled for
Oh,
COVID, so that sucked.
bummer.
And then so we end up going back, or I end up going back in 2017. They did kind of like a mid reunion, just
Mhm.
in between the 2 years. So
Okay. Oh, that's amazing. Yeah, my brother went to HPU, so he was lucky enough to see some of the filming when he was at
oh wow,
school. I know, I was so jealous. And he was on the plane with can't remember the actor's name, but the guy who plays the Locke or the yeah.
Terry O'Quinn.
Yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah, yeah.
my
Yep, Terry Quinn.
He's my absolute favorite character on the show. I
So
would
good.
love to. He's one of the few actors I haven't met from the show, and I'm dying to meet him. But he doesn't really do conventions or anything, so it's been kind
Uh
of kind of tough.
that's the worst. I feel like that's the
Yep.
same with like, I'm a big horror fan, like Jamie Lee Curtis and Halloween. I feel like that's
Yeah,
still like the one thing. And John
yeah.
Carpenter, of course, but
He did just a virtual one during the
oh yeah.
pandemic, but yeah, the virtual ones I'm not super into those ones.
Me
So
neither. Like it would be cool, but like it's nothing like medium in person at all.
exactly, yeah,
So, well, that's cool. Well, that's awesome. I mean, yeah. So, I mean, it seems like I mean, I've been into this since I've been out of college, so that's not too far away. And I mean, it's cool to hear from people who've been in it for a few years now. And I feel
yeah,
like the location hunting, the set jetting thing is just kind of taking off a little bit.
yeah. I remember when I started doing this. Like I said, I did the ones for Lost in 2014.
Mhm.
Um, and to me that was new. Like no one was doing this. Like I never thought anyone would care about it. I was like, it's my favorite show, I'll take pictures for me. But then yeah, people started liking it and I started posting, and then I started doing more stuff, and now like I think I have like 50 people, because I have two accounts on Instagram. I have the one just for the locations, and I just follow other location people, and I think I got like 50 people in there that are doing this, which is mind-blowing to me that people enjoy doing it this much.
It's crazy. Yeah. I've talked to a few people and they're just as crazy about it as you are and I am. And it's kind of cool to see, but yeah, it's definitely something that I feel like social media really brought out of people,
Oh, for sure.
but yeah, that's crazy. Yeah. So, you love Lost and you like Marvel and everything. What other kind of movies you into? And you have the whole
Oh,
DVD collection
I
behind
mean,
you. And
everything and anything. I have everything from, Pixar stuff to the most disgusting horror gore fest you can find
amazing.
to, just typical dramas. I mean, whatever. I'm into everything.
Cool.
I think the only thing I'm really not into is westerns.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
can't get into those, but other than that, I think I have something from every genre. So,
That's awesome. That's great.
eh,
Now you're in Florida, right? Correct?
yes, Florida.
Okay, cool. So I mean, you've probably hit most of the locations around you then, I assume.
Everything around. I'm in the Tampa area, so
Okay.
everything in the immediate area I've hit. I've gone down to Miami once or twice to get some stuff.
Mhm.
Um, and that's about it. There's not much filmed here, surprisingly. There's a few things over by Orlando. I'm still waiting to get Problem Child 2 was filmed over there.
Oh, okay.
So I'm waiting to get that. There's been a few things filmed at Universal Studios, so I've gotten those ones.
Mhm.
But that's about it. I mean, there's really not much filmed here,
Okay.
unfortunately. So
Gotcha. Do you have any upcoming trips or any kind of locations you're gonna try to hit up soon or
yeah, we just now that we're all vaccinated and COVID's somewhat gone,
right?
we're playing catch up. So in September, my wife was planning a trip to Oregon. She's going to a Twilight Festival.
Oh, right. We talked about this.
Yeah,
Okay.
so she said, hey, if you want to go, I was like, yeah, Twilight. I guess I can go for other stuff. So we I ended up looking into it, and there's a lot of cool things filmed in Oregon area.
Mhm.
Um, so I'm doing all that. All that. We're staying at the hotel from The Shining, which is
Yep.
super awesome for me. Um, After that, I decided to finally book my special trip to Atlanta for my 40th birthday, which is October. But I do tax accounting,
Okay.
so I can't actually travel in October because it's a busy month for reporting. So the first week of November, we're going to Atlanta for my 40th. Seeing tons of stuff there. It's ridiculous how many things we're seeing.
Mhm.
Pretty much anything Marvel from, I think we went there in 2017 was the last time I went. So anything
Sure.
films after that we're seeing, plus a bunch of was it Doctor Sleep and
Mhm.
um,
Stranger Things was there as well. And...
Stranger Things. We actually did those in 2017. We're
Oh, you
seeing,
did. Great.
yeah, that's actually what started me getting kind of big into this. I posted my Atlanta stuff on Reddit, and that was like right after
Gotcha.
Stranger Things came out. So that blew up and that got me a lot of attention on Instagram. Um, but we're also going to see, I think we're going to do the mall from Stranger Things from season 3.
Nice.
And we're finally going to go to the quarry from season 1 because that's now open to the public. So that should be fun.
Ooh, yeah.
Plus a bunch of other stuff that just came out recently. And then in December, we're doing a trip to New Orleans,
Oh, so
which
cool.
is surprisingly a lot of stuff there. Like we had
Yeah.
just planned to go for like, it's a Christmas break. Let's just go hang out. But as I was researching it, there is a lot of things filmed in New Orleans, which I was
Mhm.
surprised about. So that's a very busy schedule we got going on too.
Oh, that's great. Have you been before or no to New
No,
Orleans?
no,
Cool.
have my wife went, I don't know, some years before I met her.
Okay.
And she's been trying to get me to go back and I've been wanting to go back. It's just it's schedules are so busy.
Sure.
But now we had some free time and we have extra, PTO from not using any last year. So I said, let's finally do it. And yeah, I got some stuff I'm really excited to shoot over there.
Oh, that's awesome. I haven't been to New Orleans either, but I would love to go because I went to school in Savannah, Georgia. So I heard it's
Okay.
somewhat similar, the haunted vibes and all the historic. And I just love that. But oh, that's so cool though. Yeah. So your wife's into it as well.
She is not as much as I am,
Okay.
obviously, but she was doing tours before I met her, so it's not like something I kind of
Mhm.
introduced her to and dragged her into.
Sure.
So that was cool. She's really into um, Wilmington. It's like her favorite city, North Carolina, where they have One Tree Hill and Dawson's Creek.
Mhm.
So she was into that. She did a lot of those before. She did some of the Walking Dead stuff before I met her.
Cool.
So when we go now, she enjoys it. She definitely enjoys the end product of it.
Okay.
But sometimes my trips are very, very busy. I think when we went to New York, we were there for 6 or 7 days and we did over 300 locations. So it's,
Whoa.
yeah, so it's go, go, go. So sometimes though she's kind of like, all right, this is enough, we're done. Or I'm trying to get my perfect angle.
Right. Yeah.
Like I got my shot. I'm gonna go sit down and I'm just like, all right, just stay out of my way and I'll get my stuff done. But yeah, she's into it, but just
Great.
sometimes she's just like, all right, that's enough.
Totally,
So
I get that for sure. But
I mean, even
yeah,
for
that's
me, like I'm going through my planning right now, and I'm like, why am I doing so many locations? I want to cut some stuff out because it's so busy and it's so much to prep for. But
yeah.
when I get to see this stuff and then see it put together, it makes it worth it for me. So
Oh, it's awesome. Yeah, it's so great. Yeah, I mean, I can thank you for the Wilmington locations. I had a lot of those, but not all of them, and
mhm.
that helped me out such a like those photos, and it was great. So thank you for that.
Yeah, not a problem.
And that's one of the reasons I want to reach out, and one of the reasons why we kind of did this app, or not even for that, but like I just love talking to other people in the community in the film tourism world. It's so fascinating to see what other people are into it, and what locations they've been to, what they're trying to go to,
Mhm.
any of their experiences, and it's fascinating to me. So I just love connecting with other people in the location
It's been
community.
really helpful with, I mean, this community is super, super nice to everyone. I mean, I've reached out to people for addresses and like, hey, here you go. And if, here's some information about that. I know,
Right.
especially for Lost, since like I'm known on Reddit for being like the Lost location guy.
That's awesome.
So if anyone wants to know about that, they always just send me a message. I have a spreadsheet of all the addresses, screenshots from when they were done, and then information about each location because some of them are private property, some you have to pay for. So I have
Sure.
like everything's listed there.
Mhm.
Just try to make it easy as for other people to find stuff.
Yeah.
So that's really cool. But also at the same time, sometimes it's. I remember I was talking to one of the other people that does it. I forgot what her name was on there, but I was in Chicago trying to get a shot from Dark Knight, the truck flip scene, and I struggled so hard because there was so much traffic. Every time I went, there was just crazy traffic.
Mhm.
So when she went, I was like, just be forewarned. There's a lot of traffic there, so do what you can. And she's like, no, I went and it was fine. There was nothing there, and I was like, okay. So I literally almost got hit by three cars trying to get my shot. But I got it and I was happy with it. But
Hey,
she's like, yeah, I went out there, middle of the day, there was no one there, and I just, stood out there and did my thing. So I was like, all right, well,
well,
that's
not
cool.
me.
Yeah.
That's funny. Yeah, I'm actually going to a Dark Knight. I'm going. Have you heard of Onset Cinema, the Myers House, North Carolina?
No.
Oh, okay. So
Oh, no, no,
he,
yes, yes, I've heard of
yes,
that. I didn't know what it was called that, but yeah, I've heard of that.
yeah.
Yeah.
So Myers House is like his name, but then Onset Cinema is like his events. But I'm
Okay.
doing The Shining in Portland in October, so I'll be
Okay.
there for that right after you, and then I'll be in Chicago in August for the Dark Knight. So that'll be kind of
Okay.
cool. So I'm gonna try to hit up some locations while I'm there. But
If you need the addresses, let me know. I got
thank you.
spreadsheets, tons of
Yeah.
spreadsheets.
And so do you have I mean, you have that, you sent me something. Do you have like a website or something? Because I would love to like
No, I just
post it so
have
people can visit your stuff or whatever.
just all I have is the Instagram. I
Okay.
want to get a website set up, but I have no idea how to do it.
Sure.
So I've seen other people because I really want to do it because a lot of people I've seen, they'll be interested to see like a picture from Lost on that I post, like whatever. I try to post one picture a day, and they'll see like, oh, there's a cool Lost picture. I want to see more, and I'm like, scroll through the past 4 years. There's no way I can
Right.
just kind of just say here's all my Lost stuff.
Right.
Um, I have them on Imager, but
Mhm.
that website isn't fantastic anymore. So it's really kind of hard to share that.
Mhm.
So I really want to get something set up where I can post tags and say everything from Lost is here, everything from Dark Knight is here. It's
Gotcha.
just a matter of figuring out how to do that. I reached out to one person. I had a friend who does that, and she's like, "Oh yeah, it's about like $500 to do that." And I was like, "Not for a hobby. I'm not spending that much money just for a hobby. So if I can figure out how to do one for free and just set up something basic, I'll do it. But I'm not
Definitely.
gonna spend that much money on it. So
Yeah, I get that. That makes sense. But well, it'll happen one day, I'm sure, and it'll be
yeah,
great. But I guess no rush. So, well, that's cool though. I mean, I think honestly, like when I started kind of doing this, I think I started following people in the community. I think you were probably one of the first people I found. I started following, I think, which was also inspired me. So that, I mean, that
awesome.
was, yeah. So I saw, I was like, oh, this guy, he's got a lot of posts and very, the angle is perfect. And I love that. I appreciate that. So,
Yeah, it's the first ones I did. Like looking back at them now, I've definitely got it down to a science. I got it. I'm super OCD about it. And I know some other people they don't care that much. Even some of my friends are like, just take your picture. Who cares? I'm like, but they did it in the movie that way for a reason, and
right,
I want
right.
to pay homage to them and give them the credit for getting that awesome shot. So that's what I want to do. Like looking back some of my old stuff I've done, I was like, this is a terrible picture. The worst I did was back when I went to LA the first time in 2016. I had just gotten a wide lens, like an ultra wide lens for my camera. And I
Okay.
was still kind of new to photography, and I had no clue that ultra wide lenses distort your picture really bad. So I took all these pictures and I'm like, yeah, I got all these shots and they're great. I'm going to go home and edit them, and none of them matched up because the distortion from the wide lens just kind of ruined everything. So all those pictures, I mean, I used them, but looking at them, just they look terrible to me. So getting them now to have the right focal length and using the right lens is just super important to me.
I appreciate it. That's awesome. Yeah, that's great. That's another thing people don't think about, like the focal lens and all that, all that stuff. So because there's different distortions, and yeah, like you were saying, like American Horror Story, you got to get that fish angle.
Yeah. Yep. That's one that we just watched that Coven.
I haven't seen it Louisiana
for
trip.
New Orleans.
Yep.
Yeah. And I was looking at it and I was like, every single thing here is like a ultra wide lens or a fish eye. And it's going to suck trying to match up those angles, but I'll do what I can.
That's awesome.
Yeah. But it's something I was not looking forward to. And also there's a few other I noticed I think it was in Georgia that I was planning on, that there's a lot of stuff because I always look at Google Maps before I make my trips just to make sure that stuff's still there.
Right.
Because there's been times where like I had something on my list and I went there and it's gone. And I was like, well, that was a waste of a trip to drive, it wasn't probably far or whatever, but it was just to go there and it's not there. It doesn't look anything the same. So I always check it out before I go. And Google uses the ultra wide lens on their cars. So everything's distorted there. So trying to kind of match up to what I'm expecting to see makes it kind of hard. But then there's some shots where like in the movie, they compressed it a lot. So the background's really big. But looking at it on Google Maps, it's like really, really far back there. So trying to predict that when I get there is kind of.
Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah, it's a challenge.
Huh.
Like I know there's one shot. Have you seen Boss Level on Hulu yet?
I have not.
It's a really good action time loop movie.
Okay.
But there's a few scenes where they shoot down the street and you can see in the background there's the Mercedes-Benz arena or whatever it is, and it's super huge in the background. You can see it, but we look on Google Maps, it's like way tiny way back there, and it's just because they're lenses. So trying to predict of how I'm being able to get there, what length I'll have to use for that is gonna be fun. So
wow. So do you have like a bunch? I mean, so you have a bunch of lenses then, I assume.
I have the ultra wide and I have a 18 to 150.
Okay. Yeah.
I also had a super zoom. It was like a 55 to 300. But I actually just bought a new camera last year. And I was tired of I'd never used it, the super zoom. So that was one reason why I bought a new camera. I just wanted to get something a bit more compact. So I got a mirrorless camera, and I just got rid of the ultra zoom, and I had just the regular kit lens. And then I have it's a Nikon ultra wide that I have, but I got it for like $200 on eBay. And those normally go for a lot of more money than that.
Yeah.
So I spent like $20 to get an adapter because my new one's a Fuji camera. So I have those two lenses, and that's all I got now.
Oh, great. I mean, those will do just fine.
That's all I need for that. Yeah.
That's awesome. Now, do you have any like bucket list locations that you've always wanted to hit and you haven't hit yet? Or
New Zealand, 100% New Zealand. That's
New Zealand,
me and my wife both want to go there so bad. We're huge Lord of the Rings fans. It's so tough to get out there because it's like, I think, a 4 or 5 day trip just to get out there. And then all the tours, like every time we do it, I've done one actual tour for locations.
Okay.
Usually we just map it out and we drive around on our own and just do what we can. But you can't really do that in New Zealand because a lot of the stuff is private property, or it's so out in the woods, you can't find it. So you have to do a tour. And I think the one tour that we saw was like an 11-day tour. And then you have another 5 days back. So it ended up being like a 4-week trip.
Jeez.
Yeah. And for me, I could probably get the time off of work because I have like I work in a bigger company, but she has 3 people in her office. So it's hard for her to get the time off. And then also we looked at it and it was like $20,000. So, because we thought this year before the pandemic hit, we said, how we should do it in 2021. It's the 20th anniversary of Fellowship and it's my 40th. So that'd be an awesome trip to do. Then we looked into it and it was like $20,000. And I was like, maybe not. So that's one of them. And then I want to do Vancouver. I really want to do Vancouver. But at the same time, it's kind of like LA, where there's so much stuff filmed there that I'm going to need like 3 weeks. And it's going to be so overwhelming that I don't know if I want to tackle it, but I'm sure one day we will. So,
yep. I feel that 100%. Vancouver is on my top as well. And I actually went to New Zealand in school when I was in college.
Oh my God.
But, I was a college kid, had no money. I was a sophomore. So
yeah.
But luckily I lived with a bunch of Kiwis And so one of my friends, she took me to her house up north, and we did Hobbiton. We did the tour of
Oh,
Hobbiton, which
wow.
was amazing. You would love it. You're gonna love it when you
Yeah.
go. But the
I'm
other
so
tours I couldn't do,
jealous.
unfortunately. But and we had like a 2 week break from college, from school, so we rented an RV and went to the South Island.
Mhm.
And I mean, we didn't hit, because some of the people was with weren't into it as much as I was, but we still did a couple of locations. Not as much as I would love to, but I definitely am going to get back there at some point and go. But it was, you're gonna love it. It's beautiful there, and it's exactly what it looks like in Lord of the Rings. So
Yeah, I cannot wait to get there.
Mhm.
I don't know if it's ever going to happen, especially with
I know,
pandemics and monies and everything. So
but it's, yeah. Well,
hopefully,
hopefully,
yeah.
but
And then one other trip we have, I know it's a big one for my wife. We just started, well, not started, but I started watching Schitt's Creek
oh, nice, nice.
back in 2019, I think it was, while I was editing some photos from another trip. And then she ended up kind of walking in while I was editing, and she's like, "What's this show?" And she fell in love with it. She's watched it like 9 times already. Um, but we want to go to Toronto for that. And then
Mhm.
also, it was filmed there,
Right. Yep.
and Scott Pilgrim.
Oh yeah,
So
yeah.
I was supposed to go last July, but again, the pandemic hit, so that kind of sucked and ruined a lot of stuff. But that's another big trip that we've been dying to do, is to get up to do Schitt's Creek and it.
Okay. Yeah, it would be amazing. That's one of my
Yep.
tops as well. I want to go to the Camp Crystal Lake, I think, as well. That's one of my top.
I
Uh,
actually stayed there when I was a kid.
you did.
Yeah, I was born and raised in New York, and when we were in Cub Scouts, we went to Rennequa, I think was the name of it. It was like some
Okay.
little like Cub Scout camp, for like the summer camp thing. You stay there for a week and whatever. But they had one night of that trip where it was like as an outing to another camp, and it happened to be Camp Crystal Lake.
No way.
At the time, I had no idea because I was like 9 or 10. I didn't know what any of that was. But yeah, we stayed there, and I was like, yeah, it's camping, whatever. But now looking back, and I was like, oh man, that would have been so cool if I actually had seen the movies and knew
Right.
anything about it. But
Oh my gosh,
yeah,
because they're not open really. I mean, you have to get tickets and all that stuff
yeah,
now.
and they go
So
quick. I've seen, yeah. So that was back,
so quick.
you know, back in the
That's crazy.
late '80s, early '90s. So
So you've been there technically, but yeah.
I've been there, but yeah, it had. I mean, I knew what they had told us that they filmed it there, and I was just like, I don't know what that is
Yeah.
because I'm a little kid, so whatever.
Right. Yep. Yep. Yeah. The only tour I've done really was, well, the Hobbiton, but then I went to the Halloween 40 convention when the new one came out. And then we
Okay.
did, there was like a VIP tour, and it was really cool. It was nice. That was like one of my first time to like California in general. So I know I have to get to California. It's just like you were saying, there's just so many.
Yeah, California is a tough one, especially for me. The problem is like I'm making my map, right, and I really want to see this location, and then I'm like, oh, well, this location I'm not super into, but I wouldn't mind seeing it. But then right down another road, there's another location, so I might as well hit that one up. But next thing you know, you're going down like 8 or 6, 8 or 9 blocks, just because every corner has something filmed on it,
Mhm.
and you're there, you might as well see it. And then it just
Right.
becomes this whole, I have to add an extra day to our trip now, so
Right.
it's out of control.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, then I got to do Universal Studios tour. I haven't done that one. So,
Oh yeah, I did the Warner Brothers tour
oh, you
in,
did? How was that?
yeah, it was okay.
Okay.
I mean, overall it was cool. My issue with it, one, was I wasn't prepared for everything. I didn't realize how much stuff was actually filmed on the back lot. Um,
Mhm.
the spot where they stop at, my wife was super jealous. They filmed Gilmore Girls there.
Oh, yeah.
I'd never seen Gilmore Girls, so I was like, whatever. Here's some pictures, and she's like, that's the gazebo that they were at the thing. And I was like, sure, if you say so. But then I found out when I got back that they filmed Monster Squad there, so that would have been a cool one to get.
Oh, cool.
Um, they have the house from Growing Pains is over there. The one of the house from Friends is over there.
Oh, cool.
So I didn't know any of that stuff. And then the few things I did know, they just kind of drove past them. They're like, oh, if you look over there, there's that one. I'm like, okay, that's great.
Mhm.
But the cool thing for me was at the time they were doing a DC display, so they had
Okay.
like all the Batmobiles were there, which was really cool to see
Oh, that's
those. A lot
awesome.
of the suits and costumes from Batman vs Superman and Suicide Squad were there,
Whoa.
so that was really cool to see. And then once you're done with the tour, they give you, it's not like a, I don't want to say it's a museum, but it's like kind of like an interactive area, and you go
Mhm.
and you can like kind of play around with different special effects and see how they work. They have like one of those tables set up to make you look like Hobbit size and someone else's regular
Oh,
size.
cool.
So that was a lot of fun. Um, but yeah, just the tours in general, like I appreciate them, but for someone like me and someone like you that wants to take the pictures,
Right.
it's so much, just driving by it real quick and you can't really stop to get your stuff. The few tours I have been on, there was that one, and there I did one in Hawaii for Lost, for the Kualoa Ranch, because that's the only place you can't really get to on your own. So we booked a tour for that. And that was actually a really good tour because it was a separate company that it was a Lost tour.
Oh,
It
cool,
wasn't it
cool.
wasn't through Kualoa Ranch because they had a ranch tour,
Mhm.
um, but it's just kind of like, here's everything you can see at the ranch. I did that again in 2017 when I went because I wanted to see some things from Lost.
Okay.
But again, it's if we decide to go there, we'll go there. If we don't, we don't. So there's no set thing. So the
Right.
Lost tour is cool because it was actually, this is where we're going for Lost stuff. But yeah, other than that, it's so much driving by stuff so quickly or not really getting to stop and get the angles I want.
Mhm.
I'm trying to set up the tour for the Porsche Center in Atlanta,
Mhm.
which is where they filmed the Avengers headquarters. And I'm
Ooh.
telling the guy specifically in my email because it says that you can book it, but if you have any special requests, let us know. And I was like, I don't care about cars, I just want to see Avengers. So I'm waiting for
Right.
a response from that, and I just want to be able to go and get my angles and get my shots. And yeah, sorry,
Ah,
Porsche, I don't care about Porsches. I don't care
right.
about
No. Yeah.
cars, but I will gladly pay for your tour.
Mhm.
Just let me take my time and get my shots. That's all I care
Oh, that
about.
would be
So
so cool. That'd be awesome.
I've seen other people do it, so it's
Okay.
sure it's possible.
Mhm.
And I mean they've shot all around there, so it's probably part of the tour. I just
Mhm.
don't know if it's going to be like here's 20 people in a tour, just kind of rush you through it, or if it's just I think we have 6 people going. If I could just book a 6-person tour and just take our time and do whatever, so
Sure.
we'll find out.
Yeah. Yeah, I get that. And like, I mean, yeah, my Habitat tour is great. And is what it is, but like there's something special about just going, especially kind of in a remote location, just like you and someone else and someone else is into it, and you're just like kind of taking it in, and you're just like
Hmm.
kind of sitting there, like especially like I went to the Conjuring House when I was in Wilmington, and it's just like I was just there by myself. There was just fog everywhere, and it was just like one of the coolest
How was that? How
experiences.
was your experience? Did
It
anyone
was
come out and
fine.
talk
No
to
one
you?
came out. I didn't
Okay.
go too far because I didn't want to bother anybody. I just kind of sat there for a bit though. I mean, my car was parked out front, and I was just in, driveway for a bit, but no one said anything. So
Because I have heard that the guy doesn't like visitors at all.
okay.
So we went there, me and my wife and her friend, we all went, and we're all huge fans of The Conjuring. So we got out, we
Mhm.
took pictures. They also filmed one house from I Know What You Did Last Summer there.
Yep.
So I was getting my shots, and like I was just about done, and I saw someone I took one step onto the driveway just because I wanted to get a somewhat closer shot. One step on, I saw someone out of the house, and I was like, all right, let's get out of here. Um, so we drove away, whatever. And then a few months later, I was just scrolling through Instagram, and I saw some guy had some pictures of like super close to the house, and he had some stuff from the backyard. And I was like, "How'd you get those shots? What happened?" He's like, "Oh, I was taking pictures in front. The guy came out and said, 'Hey, you want a tour?'" And I was like, "What?" So apparently the
Oh,
guy is really nice, but we just heard that he was not nice. So he
man.
came out, and we got scared and ran away. We should have stuck around, and he probably was like, "Could give us a tour," but
Right. Oh
you know,
man, that's such a bummer. Well, maybe
yeah.
next time we
So
get out there.
yeah, we're gonna hopefully go out there maybe next year and do some more stuff. But yeah, some people ruin it. My wife was just saying that
Yes.
the Dawson's Creek people have officially said no more tours.
Really?
Because they apparently if you had emailed them, like they would say, "Hey, yeah, come on, we'll show you some stuff." But some people have been so rude about it that they said no more. And I mean, I get it, that
Yeah.
sucks, but
Totally.
I don't understand how people ruin it. Same with the Breaking Bad house. Like
Yes.
that's one of my favorite shows. I would love to see that, but it's kind of like, is it worth it at this point? Or like,
Right.
I don't know. So
Yeah. And Back to the Future. I know that house has been through a lot.
has it
I don't know what
the
they've done, but I know people have upset the owners. Or at least, yeah. I don't know if there's new owners or anything, but I
which
know
house the
the I want to say it's the Doc's house. I could be wrong.
the Doc's house is it open to the public tour place? So it
Maybe it
might
was
be
the
the
McFly house. Maybe
there's so many houses there, but
I
yeah,
know.
I would assume it's the McFly house. We went
I've just
to
heard things about it. I haven't been, but I've heard things about it. So it
okay.
could be wrong, but
Yeah, when I went, there was no one there, and it was
okay.
fine. And then when we went to there's a street in Pasadena called Bushnell Avenue,
Mhm.
and there's just tons of stuff there, like which is crazy how they have it set up because you have like it's like Lorraine's house, and then or no, it's George's house from the 50s, and then Lorraine's house, and then an empty house, and then Biff's no, then another empty house, which was actually the house from Old School, and then Biff's
Oh,
grandma's
okay.
house. So all like right next to each other,
Jeez.
they have all these houses. So we were just having a field day taking pictures of everything. And then some guy comes out and goes, "Are you guys here for Back to the Future?" I was like, "Yeah." He goes, "Let me show you some stuff." And he just took us on a tour of the street and shows everything.
That's
Across the
amazing.
street where George was in the tree, they have
Mhm.
in the cement when they were doing the production, they did a whole thing in the cement saying like, Back to the Future was filmed here, 1985 or whatever.
Cool.
So that's a lot of cool stuff. But yeah, there's some people super nice, some people
Yeah,
not so much.
totally. I get that. Yeah. When I did the Halloween tour, I don't know if you've done Halloween locations, I assume, or no.
I've done this stuff in Pasadena.
Okay.
I think just Lori's house was all I got to see.
Yeah.
Um, just because there's so much stuff out
So
there, and I just
much.
didn't have time to get to all
Mhm.
of it. So
Yep. Well, so when I was on the tour, it was the owner was so nice. She like put a bunch of pumpkins outside so you could take the photo on
mhm.
the corner there, and she had a box of candy, and she was just talking to everybody. It was really cool. But yeah, I do love when people are like that, and I don't. It's so annoying when people ruin it for other people, because like especially even if you've gone before, it's like other people can experience that, and
Right. And
so
it is a weird thing too, because I mean, I get it. It's you want the privacy, you don't want people on your property, but at the same time,
right.
if you rent your house out to a production, or you buy a house that was used in production, I hate to say it, but it kind of should be expected. Like I
Yes.
know the guy that bought the Home Alone house, he bought it recently, and he's
Mhm.
like, "I don't want anyone here." And I was like, "Then don't buy the Home Alone house." I mean,
So many
it's
other houses out there.
so yeah, exactly. There's so many other houses, and I get the new productions. I'm sure Breaking Bad, that house, they didn't expect it to take off like it did, and they didn't expect people to throw pizzas on their roof.
Yes. Right.
Um, but yeah, if you're gonna buy a house that was used in like a major movie like Home Alone, expect people to stop by and take pictures. I mean, don't
Oh,
expect them to be
100%.
come on your property. That's definitely rude and uncalled for, and I've never done that. But
Right. Right.
don't get mad if someone's standing in the street taking a picture of your house. So
Yeah, because yeah, I mean it's a house anyway, so
yeah.
and people are gonna see it. Your house is all over a
Well, yeah,
movie.
they have like I mean like they have some of the houses, they blocked them off on Google Maps.
Yeah, I've
I
noticed
was like,
that.
why? Like,
We're gonna go there anyway. Like,
yeah. So I don't
it's
get it, but
bizarre,
yeah,
man. Yeah,
yeah.
but I mean, I mean, have you heard of the Buffalo Bills house? Then,
Mm-mm.
oh, so this couple bought the Buffalo Bills house from Silence of the Lambs, and they're turning it into like a museum, and like
Okay.
I don't think they live there or not, but you can like they're like in the process of doing it right now, and you can do overnight stays and everything.
Oh wow.
And they're putting like animatronic things in there and merch. It's gonna be really cool.
So that's
So
what I would do. I would totally do that if I
yeah,
had the money to buy some like a movie house. I would definitely
100%.
do that.
Mm-hmm.
Like I know in Twin Peaks, do you watch Twin
Mm-hmm.
Peaks? In season 3 or the return, whatever you want to call it, at the end when they go back to Laura's house, the lady that answers the door, she owns that house, and she's a huge Twin
Okay,
Peaks fan. So she got to, she bought the house, and then David Lynch was like, "Hey, you want to be in the show?" And she's like, "Hell yeah, I do."
that's amazing.
Um, so that's cool. I heard they were turning it into some sort of museum, but when we went there, she was still living there. I was hoping she came out to, talk to us, but she didn't. But
Mhm.
even like her license plate is a Twin Peaks reference on it,
Cool,
so she's
cool.
like definitely like a hardcore fan, and it's really nice to see that happen instead of just some cranky person buying a house and be
I
like, "Get off
know,
my lawn."
I
So
know. Like, yeah, yeah, for sure, definitely. But man, that's crazy. So have you had any like, I guess, bad experiences on set, like something like that, where it's like someone comes out and yells at you, or any of that, or you're really
um
lucky?
not bad experiences. I'm always very respectful. Like
Yeah.
I was just talking to someone the other day about this. I hate taking pictures of houses. I cannot stand doing it, but I do it because I want to see the things. I try
Same way.
usually like to wear a shirt from like that movie or that show. Like when we went to New York, we did the stuff in Brooklyn. I knew there was a lot of Spider-Man stuff, so I wore a Spider-Man shirt. As if we go to someone's house and they see, someone out there wearing a Spider-Man shirt, they're probably gonna know what's up, as opposed to just some random person taking pictures of their house, whatever. Um, but yeah, I don't like doing that, but I'm always respectful. I stay off the property, so I've never really had an issue. The only issues I had is the one with the Conjuring, which apparently wasn't really an issue, but we thought it would be. And then the worst one probably was um, in LA. I went to the cemetery from Nightmare on Elm Street,
Okay.
which is not in the best of areas, and I had no idea about that. I just, I got an Uber and said, "Take me out to the cemetery." And we got out there. The second I got out of the car, like these two guys came running towards me, and I was like, "What the hell's going on?" He's like, "What are you doing here? What are you doing here?" And I was kind of scared for a little bit. Turns out they thought I was a production manager and they wanted to be in my movie. And I was like, "No, sorry guys, I'm just taking pictures as a fan." Like, oh, okay. But then they were really cool about it. But that was probably the worst I've had.
That's
I've never
good.
had anyone like yell at me for taking pictures or do anything. There's been a few sketchy spots I've been to that I
Mhm.
wasn't super cool with. Um, the worst one for that, there's a spot in downtown Atlanta where they filmed Spider-Man, which before we even got out of the car in the parking lot, I saw people like looking in the windows of other cars, and I was like, let's just do this
Yeah.
super quick. And then um, in San Francisco, where they filmed Ant-Man's apartment, is apparently a really sketchy area. And I've had
Okay.
people say, do not go there at night. If you're going to go during the day. If you can, park, nearby and get out and just take a quick picture and but like, don't walk around there, especially if you have a camera. Just,
Gotcha.
so it wasn't necessarily scary as in like dangerous. It was just kind of more depressing. There's a lot of homeless people, a lot of drug use. So there's a lot of
Yeah.
people just kind of being crazy. Like I had to like literally kneel like next to a puddle of piss to get my picture.
Whoa.
So it's a dirty, disgusting area, but
Yeah.
I
But
mean, it is what it is.
yeah.
So
Yeah, that's something like I want to try to like kind of at least like make well more known is like the, safety factor or, if
yeah,
there's like, abandoned things or they're not there anymore even. So something to,
yeah, that's something I'm super concerned about, and
yes.
it's weird because like, so I'm planning my trip to New Orleans. I've never been there.
Mhm.
And like it's so tough because sometimes movies make stuff look really nice or look them really bad. Like
Mhm.
we were watching American History X, getting ready for our trip to Los Angeles, and they make that beach. What is it? I can't remember the beach right now, but they make the beach area look really sketchy and really dangerous. But then you go watch, I Love You Man or something like that, and it's just like, oh, it's just hang out with the family, have fun.
Mhm.
So I asked on Reddit, I said, hey, New Orleans, what areas should I avoid? Which areas are bad? What's I just want to be aware. And everyone's just like, if you don't want to be scared, don't come here.
What
Okay.
doesn't help?
Yeah, I just want to know. Like, I'm not saying I'm scared. I just want to know because there's areas like, I was in LA.
Mhm.
And my Uber driver said the same thing. He's like, the street you're on right now, it's fine, but if you walk two streets over, you'll probably get stabbed because
Wow.
it's a lot of homeless people and a lot of like just like mentally handicapped, not handicapped, mentally,
Mhm.
damaged people, whatever. And he said it's just not safe to walk around, and it's just a two-street difference. So I want to be aware of that type of stuff. Do
Yeah.
not go there if you don't want to, whatever. And yeah, some people like just be aware of your surroundings. You'll be fine. I was like, I mean, I get that. But
You can
again,
only
like
do
if
so
you're
much though in those situations.
exactly like
Yeah.
if you're in LA, you're not just going to go wander into Compton or something like that.
No.
That's an area you wouldn't go to just because of what's around there. I don't care how aware you are of your surroundings. It's something that you need to, be knowledgeable about. Um, so yeah, it's something that I look into. And when someone's doing a trip and say, hey, don't go to this area, don't go here, or
Mhm.
this guy doesn't like his house being looked
Right.
at, whatever. So it's just it's something to share and
Mhm.
be known.
Definitely. Yeah, I haven't been there, but I know I was doing some research on like the prisoners locations and not I don't think it's in Atlanta, but it's around the area. And it's I
Yep.
know some places were looking a little sketch. So
Yeah, I've been to all of them.
oh, you have? Okay.
Yes, it's one of my favorite movies. I love that
Oh,
movie.
exciting.
The house that where they torture Paul Dano at,
Yes.
that place was sketchy. That
It
was
looked
really
sketchy
sketchy.
from Google. So
Yeah. We got there and I wouldn't let my wife get out of the car. I said, just drive up the corner to get out of my shot. I'll jump out, take it real quick. And, that was that, but I wouldn't hang out there.
mhm.
Then right down the street where they had, where Hugh Jackman was sitting in his truck, kind of drinking
Mhm.
where it was raining. That market looks pretty sketchy. It actually reminds me of back to your other question. We went to the houses from prisoners.
Okay.
Really nice area, super
Yeah, I was
nice
gonna say
area.
it looks kind of nice.
Um, but the first time we went there, because our hotel happened to be like 5 minutes from there, so we went there. And of course, the entire family's out in their lawn when we got there, and I was like, okay, I'll just we'll try it again next time because we're so close. So we got up the next morning and got out there super early, and I went out there, and to get the angle I wanted, I had to kneel down across the street next to some guy's truck. So I was like right in front of his truck, kneeling down. And I guess he saw me out there, thought I was trying to mess with his truck. So he came out and he started saying stuff to me. But I was like, no, 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 I'm just checking movies from, prisoners. He's like, oh yeah, Hugh Jackman. It was so crazy. He was just walking around the neighborhood. And I was like, I would love to hear these stories. That's something I would like to do. but again, you like people want their privacy, so I don't want to be like knocking on doors and saying, "Hey, remember when this was shot here?
Right,
What was
right.
that like?" Um, but I mean, that was a cool experience. It was kind of scary at first because he thought I was trying to steal his truck or whatever.
Right.
But once I explained it, we chatted for a bit and it was really cool. But
Oh, that's cool.
yeah,
Wow. See, I love the experiences. It's fascinating to hear different people's, experiences because some people could have gone there no issues.
yeah,
So, well, that's cool. Well, I don't want to take up too much more of your time. I
all
was
right,
really enjoyed talking to you though. Appreciate you hopping
likewise.
on. Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
we should do this again sometime. And
for
yeah.
sure. Yeah, the next like 3 months are super busy. I have
Okay.
to all my prepping to do, and
Okay.
then I got to go do my trips and then get back and do editing.
Okay.
So maybe in January.
Yeah, that works.
All
Maybe we
right,
can have you on for like a movie or something, a movie reviewer or something if you want.
sure, sounds
Oh,
good.
quick note before we head out. I just want to hear your thoughts on the new Batman movie. I would love to hear your
The new what?
the new Batman, the Robert Pattinson Batman. What do you how do you feel about it? Being a
Um,
DC fan.
I honestly don't know.
Okay.
It's DC is so confusing for me right now. I don't watch trailers. I don't pay
Okay.
attention to anything. I like to go in as blind as possible.
Yep.
I did watch the Suicide Squad trailer just because DC is quickly losing my interest with
Sure.
whatever they're doing. And then I've heard all these rumors with a new Batman movie where Michael Keaton's going to be in it, and they're doing some Elseworld stuff where there's a multiverse, and Michael Keaton's playing the original Batman from the Tim Burton
Oh
movies, and
yeah,
he's like,
yeah. Isn't
I
that
don't know,
The Flash movie, right? Flashpoint. I think
I
that's what
don't.
I've heard.
Well, that's what I heard, but then I also heard that Ben Affleck and Michael Keaton are going to be in the new Batman movie as well,
Really?
and so I don't,
Um,
I don't know what they're doing.
oh, that makes me not as interested.
Yeah, I mean, on one hand, it does because I would like to see kind of a standalone Batman movie like they did the Joker. I like the Joker; I thought that was good.
Yes. Yes.
Um, but at the same time, I really like what Marvel's doing with their connected universe, and I would like to see DC get their act together and do something like that.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, I don't know what they're doing. And when I first heard it, I was not excited because
Okay.
all I know about Robert Pattinson is Twilight,
Okay.
which I finally watched for our trip to Oregon, and yeah, they're not good movies.
No.
Um, but I've seen him in other stuff, and he's not a bad actor. So I mean, I guess I'm not against it because I know when they first announced Heath Ledger as Joker, and I was like, "What is this? This is ridiculous!" And he's the best Joker we've had.
Right. Right.
Um, so nothing against Robert Pattinson. If it's good, it's good. But from the rumors I've heard, I'm not expecting much at this point.
All
So
right. Cool. Just curious. I love hearing from people who are interested in that. So.
yeah, I mean, it's Batman's like one of my favorite characters, so I'm hoping it's good.
Mhm.
But I'm also in the camp that loved Affleck. I thought he was the best Batman we've had to date.
Mhm.
So if and that's the other thing too is apparently he's dropping out now too. So I don't even know
Ugh.
what's going on with DC. Everyone's quitting. Everyone's being redone. So
Um,
I mean,
hopefully something good will happen for them.
I
Soon.
hope so. I
They
sure
need a
hope
they need a
so.
hit. They need a hit soon.
Yeah, even their TV shows, which I thought were always really good, have gotten like I can't even watch Flash this season. We watched like 3 episodes, and I'm just gonna wait for the DVD to come out because I can't stand to sit there week after week watching it of nothing really happening. So we'll
Mhm.
get it and we'll binge it, and mostly just for the crossover that they do.
Right.
But yeah, DC is it's I think they struggled too hard to try to be like Marvel, and
Okay.
then they try to get it there too quick because I mean Marvel had to build up to Avengers after was it 6 movies or 4 movies, 5 movies,
Mhm.
and then with DC they just kind of did it the second movie, and then they started doing the origins after the big movie came out. So
Yeah.
I'll watch all of them. I will buy them and
Yeah.
I'll
Of
watch every
course.
single one, but yeah, they haven't been good for me. I haven't really
Right.
been enjoying them, except for the Zack
Totally.
Snyder stuff. Zack Snyder stuff is amazing. His cut of Justice League was phenomenal.
Yeah. He gets
Um,
way too much flack.
yeah, he's one of my favorite directors. I own everything he's done. I think he's wonderful, but
I do. I
for
agree. Mhm.
I don't know why they hate him so much, but
I don't either. He's also a really cool person.
is
Well, he
he?
seems to be at least. I mean, I don't know
Well,
him, but interviews and stuff, he seems like a
yeah,
really
he
cool
seems
person.
cool and he seems down to earth. And I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, it is what it is. People just want to hate on stuff, so
Yeah, I
whatever.
know. That's who people are. So,
Yep.
well, cool. Well, I'll let you go, and yeah, I mean, we'll connect later on in January, and I'm sure we'll stay in touch on social and
Yep. Sure
communicate
thing.
through there. Cool. Well, have a good trip, and I can't wait to see more where are your locations?
Thanks so much.
All right. Yeah. Talk soon.
Bye.
Bye.